So welcome to the Busy Mum podcast. Tell us a little bit about you, your business, and what makes you such a busy mum.
I'm a mother of 3 girls. They're 10, 9, 4, almost 7 and almost 5 for the top one and the last one. I'm a personal trainer and I have a business called Oh So Fit. We do group training and personal training. I work every day but not all day, so my days filled up of just getting the kids ready and going from PT to group training and then doing more kid things.
So with your group training, are you like exercising 2 to 3 or 4 hours a day?
No. People think that I exercise all day, but I don't. I suppose I demonstrate and then I might do some to encourage my clients, but mostly, I'm there to correct their form and encourage them more than sort of get a session in myself.
So before kids, were you a bit of a fitness freak? And I say freak in the nicest way. Not freak as
okay. No, not at all. So I've done a complete change in lifestyle from about 4 years ago until now. So before kids, I was just an everyday mum. And then with kids, I was an everyday mum. It wasn't until after my 3rd baby that I decided to get into fitness.
So what made you get into fitness? What was it? Do you remember that day that you kind of went, I need to do this?
Yeah, I do actually. It was just, I was just always really unhappy with the way I looked and the way I felt. And I think most women kind of generally sort of are. I think it's always...
There's always something.
Something. Yeah. And I just remember reading a book and it was like, if you want to, you can. And I was like, yeah, I want to. So I did. And it was just from there, I just started, we changed our food. So my husband and I sort of went through all the food thing and changed the way we ate. And it's been a big process in sort of, from then to now, but we've done it. And then I slowly got into fitness. And the more I went and the more I got into it, the more I wanted to share with other people and say, hey, you can do it too. And I feel good. I feel so much better. And you can feel good too.
At the moment, my husband's doing, he started this Instagram page up called Lose Weight with Ben. And he takes pictures of his tummy in the morning. And then he takes pictures of his food. And now he's just got this app that does calorie counting because he wants to get a 6-pack. But he wanted to get a 6-pack in 30 days. And then, unfortunately, he's pulled his neck. So he's had to take these tablets to help the pain. And it's actually helping him store water. So his tummy's not getting 6-pack-ish, if that's even a word. So do you have any tips that maybe I could pass on to him?
Just to keep going. 30 days, it's good to always have a goal, but maybe set some little goals along the way. So, in this many weeks, maybe I just want to be a little bit truer. So maybe measure yourself around the belly and go centimetres to start with. Yeah, 6-pack in 30 days. I mean, I'm sure it can be done if you're going to concentrate on that.
Well, he was, so what he's doing now, for his height and weight, I think he was supposed to be eating about 2,200 calories, but he's eating about 1,200 to 1,300 calories.
Okay. Wow, that's not a lot for a guy, is it?
No.
He'll certainly get trimmer, which is a big step into getting a 6-pack because it's always 80% food, 20% exercise.
The 80-20 rule always pokes its head up everywhere,
always
doesn't
comes.
it?
I've heard 70-30 too. I think just depends on who you talk to.
No, I haven't heard that. No.
Yeah, all these numbers that fly around. Yeah, 80-20 is the big one. Tips, I reckon just keep going and don't get disheartened. And, there's always little setbacks you hurt yourself and you can't do as much as you can. But as soon as you're better, just keep doing it. And it sounds like, lean food.
That means I have to watch what I'm buying for him as well.
Yeah.
So I might as well. I'm doing it as well with him because we were a little bit overweight. There's always that 5 kilo mark. 5 kilos overweight. I just want to lose 5 kilos.
Yeah.
But I think that 5 kilos is always the hardest to lose.
It is, and people often, they'll lose quite a significant amount of weight and I just want to lose this little bit more, and that is the hardest because the heavier you are, the easier it is to take off because you're moving so much more around, and then you get lighter and lighter and lighter, and you've just got to work that little bit extra.
Jump over houses to get that weight off.
But it can be done. It just takes more work.
Okay, well, I'll give him those words of encouragement. I'll be like, okay, let's extend your 30 days to 60 days. Let's measure your belly.
That's right. And, you know, like lots of good healthy food, lots of greens, good fats. Fat's not bad for you, if it's like all those good fats and in good quantities, like normal quantities, not overeating.
We bought smaller plates. So our plates now are just a smidgen bigger than like a traditional side plate, because we have 3 different size plates. One's like ginormous, which is like the size of your forearm around, okay? So it's about that big. So it's quite big. And then the plates that we've got now are like the size, like, say if you spread your hand out, I know everyone's hand's a bit different, but if you spread it out, it's like a bit bigger than that, like a little bit bigger than that. So they're like a side plate, and that way we know that we can't fill that plate up more than how big it is. So we're kind of reducing the way we put food on our plate as well.
Do you find that you still feel like you've got a really good big plate full of food?
Yeah.
Like, because it looks big, because we've been using side plate, like there's plates that came with a dinner set I got for Christmas, and they're supposed to be side plates, but they're a little bit bigger than your standard side plate. And I find that I like look at it and go, wow, I've got lots of food on my plate. But if I was to put that food on a
traditional size plate.
Yeah.
And also, like on another side note, we got the Jamie Oliver cutlery.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how big Jamie Oliver is, but this cutlery is like, you know how you have this salad knife and the salad spoon and fork to get the salad out of the bowl? You know, the big salad. It's like that. I feel like, God, Jamie, what were you thinking when you designed this cutlery? Because it's ginormous, you know? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll move on. So what time would you finish up, like your work and stuff like that?
My day? Yeah, so I go back to work around 5:30 of an evening, and I'm usually home and done by 8:30, but there are a few days where it's more like 9 o'clock.
So do you have a studio in your own home as well?
Yes,
so
I do.
What do you do in the studio? It's not painting, is it? Is it
no,
an exercise studio?
It's a personal training studio.
Oh,
okay.
So
it's got all my toys in it.
Toys.
It was a joke for a while. I was like, I don't really have many clothes to wear outside of gym clothes, but I've got equipment, because every time I had a bit of spare money, I'd
buy equipment.
Yes, so my personal training studio at the back, which is very handy because, you know, being a mum, you can just pop out, see a few clients, pop back in, make sure everything's going okay.
Just share with us some of your life hacks that you can't live without.
One of my big ones is sort of lower your expectation on what you think is ideal or what you should get done within a day or what should be done. One step at a time. You know, everything doesn't have to be perfect, and the world's not going to fall apart if you haven't done everything in that day. Yeah, I think that's a big one. And not to assume that your partner knows you need help.
That is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah. Just because you're grumpy and you're stomping around the house doesn't mean they know why.
They're not mind readers, are they? But they should be. You know, life would be a lot easier for them if they were.
That's right. And sometimes just pay someone to do it, outsource.
Yeah.
That's not all the time, but, you know, there's definitely times where I just can't get on top of things, and I've paid someone to clean, or I've paid someone to do my washing, or I've dropped my washing off somewhere. And just taking one little thing out of the equation just takes a huge load off your shoulders. And a big one, which is one that I take into my work all the time with my clients, is taking time out for yourself, because if you don't look after yourself, then you're not really any good to looking after, to anyone else. You know, you can't look after other people. So, especially as a mother, I think that's really important, sort of, you know, in all areas like health, just mental health as well, getting that space.
I thought I would pause the interview there and let you know that we have a Facebook page and group. I'd love to see you there, so just search the Busy Mum Podcast in Facebook and you will find me. I also wanted to share with you the why of this podcast. Why am I doing this? Well, the main reason is that I want to give back to the parenting community through conversations. Originally, I wanted to write a book, but I didn't consider myself an expert in this area. So I thought I would interview everyday parents and share with you their tips, tricks, life hacks, and support. If you have any areas that you would like to see being discussed in more depth, please drop me an email. I'm at thebusymumpodcast@gmail.com. Now back to the interview.
Just tell us a little bit about what the best advice your mum's given to you.
I really stumbled on this one today. Isn't that really bad? One big one that I can remember is that Mum said to me when, I suppose it would have been when my first was little, or my first two came pretty close together, is that it's okay to let baby cry.
Yes, it is. Because they do a lot of crying, don't they?
They do. Yeah, you can tell when they're going to get distressed, and, it's good to let yourself, have a cup of tea, calm down, go out the back if you need to, just let them cry and then go in fresh. Yeah.
That's good advice. Thank you for that. Thanks for that, Mum.
That's right.
And how have kids changed your world?
Gee, a lot.
Where do you start?
Where do I start? We no longer are still in bed at 12 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I was writing some notes for this. I think I had some really quirky ones. Yeah, they've changed it a lot. I suppose they just are the world. I mean, they're not my world because they shouldn't be my whole world, but you know what I mean? They take a lot of time.
Especially when they're young.
Yeah, they're maybe less selfish, I suppose, in a way, because we're all innately sort of selfish, I suppose, self-centered. I mean, they've made life exciting and good and, all those things that go with it. They also make life stressful and scary.
They do. I went through a phase where I was constantly thinking about death and my death and what would happen if I died and what would happen to the children. Like, I don't know if everyone goes through that, but you think, I've got to make sure everything's in order, make sure they're looked after. Who am I going to ask to look after my kids if I die? Oh, that's right, I'm already dead, okay? So
Yeah. I know. Like, who's going to do this? Who's going to brush their hair? Yeah.
And you also, like, in your notes that you sent me, I like this one. Can I read it out? It says,
I think.
I can now pee in front of someone. No more shy bladder.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I went to the toilet in peace.
I know.
Even when I lock the door now,
like...
I close the door, and my eldest, she's 5.5, will still come in. I'm like, I need privacy. I give you privacy when you're doing it. Give me some privacy.
I know.
When does that happen?
It's probably way too much information, but I've had one come in and stand next to me and go, it stinks in here. I'm like, pull it out.
Yeah. Hello. And all the years that you've had to smell there.
Yeah.
HIT is like, come on. Oh, goodness. I'm potty training my youngest at the moment. She's 2.5, and it's a nightmare, I tell you. I've actually been putting it off, and I'm doing it like a half kind of job of it. But we've kind of, I can spot when she's doing number 2s, and she's brilliant at doing number 2s in the potty now. But then you're like, oh, great. Now I have to tip that into the toilet. It's just...
And clean it.
I know. It's... Oh, yuck. Anyway, sorry, listeners. The conversation has turned to poo.
Still wouldn't have changed my life. I can now have conversations about poo.
About poo. And poo and spew. That's the other one as well. Okay, well, let's move on. Do you have a staple recipe that you go... or a go-to recipe?
Oh, that was really hard. I was thinking about that. I don't know. We don't cook the same thing, but... My go-to thing is I always have eggs in the fridge, because you can do so much with eggs, and they're filling and they're cheap, and you can make them tasty by adding things and making an omelette, or you can do frittata, or you can just have egg.
Just boiled egg, fried eggs.
Yeah, and I suppose for me, they've been a really, whereas once upon a time I might have done a sneaky swing by the drive-thru for a Happy Meal for the kids late at night. Now it's just I'll just quickly whip up eggs. So they're my go-to. They're my staple. Always have to have eggs in the house. We go through lots of them.
Do you have chickens?
Chicken. Yeah, chicken.
No,
chicken.
do you have chickens in the backyard?
I'll do chicken.
Invest in some
No.
chicks.
We should, shouldn't we?
I don't know if they bring rats though. I'm not sure.
I think, yeah, rats and mice. If you had. Yeah.
Okay, no, let's buy them.
Let's put those in the inner city without encouraging them.
I remember I had a rabbit recently, and I'm not very good with rabbits, I must say, because I'd try and get it out of its little hutch, and it would just be scared all the time, and then I would be scared. And the first time ever, like, this cat came into our backyard, and I think it could smell the rabbit, because like everyone is a predator to the rabbit.
Yeah.
You know, so I had like the big crows in the backyard, and I had cats in the backyard, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm scared because this poor rabbit is going to die of a heart attack from all these predators that are coming into the backyard now. Anyway, I gave it to a very good home. The end.
Oh,
poor little rabbit, poor little Rambo. So are you reading any books at the moment?
Yes, I started a book today, which I had sitting on my dresser. It's called The Takedown 20. It's a detective kind of novel. It's quite funny and quirky, actually. It's kind of like a comedy. I was reading it in one of those play centres that I took my kids to today, and I kept giggling, and I thought people must think that I'm a bit weird. But yeah.
You're not weird. Because I noticed that did I make you read that book? Because I feel a little bit like I'm on...
No! I know, because originally I said...
I don't read books.
I'm not reading anything at the moment. No, I just thought, what am I going to do while they're playing? I know, I'll read a book. And then I was like, oh yeah, I read a book.
I've always got like 3 or 4 books on the go, and at the moment I've still got the $100 Startup. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's got all these little case studies of little entrepreneurs, and it's about people in America and when the GFC hit in 2008 that like lots of these little micro businesses popped up because no one could get jobs, and then they were talking about like how they could make more money and how innovative they were, and yeah, it's really interesting. I like reading about other people's little success stories. I think it's quite good. I learn a little bit from it too.
When I used to read a lot. But since I started back at work a couple of years ago, I only read it on holidays. I used to read a lot of books about people's lives. I really like it. Yeah, find it interesting and how people have gotten through their own different trials and how they've had their own successes. Like it.
What are 2 things in your life that you would like to improve and why?
I'd like more confidence because basically my business is I sell myself. So it'd be good if I just put myself out there and have that 100% confidence in myself and go, here I am, I'm fantastic at what I do and this is why. But I've never sort of big noting myself or saying, oh, I'm fantastic at something else. I'm really good at deflecting, So I'd like to be able to sort of do that.
I think that just takes practice though. Unless you're really lucky and born confident, which I don't know who is, I think it's just practice and getting out of your comfort zone all the time. I mean, I do that quite regularly. My dad was in the RAF, so we moved around a lot. I think I went to about 13 different schools. So I always had to make new friends every year, basically. Oh. And as a kid, I didn't know any different. But as an adult looking back, I'm thinking, wow, that's really actually quite hard to do.
Yeah.
So I think
kids
practice.
Are good at it though. Kids are really, really good at it. Well, I don't know. I think my kids are good at making friends, and we must lose that as adults.
Yeah, something takes over, like the self-esteem, the negative talk, all of that gets in the way. Yeah. And so, what was your second thing that you'd like to improve, and why?
Just to be better at organisation when it comes to the kids' stuff. And having them organised, because they've always got 100 things on at once, and it's like, Mum, did you get my this for this? Or Mum, have you signed that note? Or Mum, I've got this on today, and you're like, I'm that mother that's running in late, or I'm that mother that's forgotten the red t-shirt, or
Well, you can put that back onto the kids and say, look, guys, I'm one. There's 3 of you. If you want something done, you need to give me some time to do it and remind me. Push back.
I started with the older kids, especially the one that's almost 11. I'm like, you need something. Though we don't live terribly close to any shops anymore. Before, we used to live across from a newsagent. And if she used to come to me and go, I needed another glue stick, and, 5 minutes before you're supposed to be at school, we live across from a newsagent. if you need something, you can take yourself across the road.
Isn't there at the shops, like at the school, sorry, my daughter's starting school this year, so 2 weeks' time, isn't there like a craft shop at the school or something, or a stationery shop? No? No? Isn't that a good idea?
It would be a fantastic idea. When they're little, though, the school provides it all, so it's very easy.
Yeah. So when do they stop providing it? What year is it? 1?
Yeah. No, I think sort of primary school, like 3 or 4.
Okay.
I think sort of K to 2, generally they don't like them bringing their own thing because it's a bit like hard to keep track of, whose is whose.
Yeah.
But then as they get older, they want them to take responsibility and, have their own things, and it's probably a money thing, really.
It gets too expensive to give all the kids all the paper glue sticks and stuff,
Sorry to interrupt. However, if you like this interview, I would love to receive a review on iTunes. This would help the show immensely move up the ranks on the iTunes podcast directory. All you need to do is click on the iTunes link on the website, find the ratings and review tab, and you're off and running. If you get stuck, please let me know. And lastly, most of our interviews have book or product recommendations. If you are interested in purchasing any of these, it would help me out if you click the link from my website. It won't cost you any more, and this way I can earn money to make the show better. Now let's get back to that interview.
What website have you signed up to that you actually find value in their emails?
Yeah, that was a tricky one because I don't think, like all the websites that I signed up to, because you just randomly sign up to them, they'll go to my promotions folder and then I never open it. So I tend to find the website's Facebook page. Does that make sense? So I like taste recipes, and I think
so it comes through your newsfeed in Facebook?
Yeah, it comes through your newsfeed on Facebook and Kids Spot, because they're just, I don't know, sometimes, you just want an easy story to read, or you just flip through and you think, that sounds interesting, I'll have a read. And sometimes it's much ado about nothing, and other times you go, actually, that's deep, or that's interesting, or I didn't know that.
No, that makes sense. I mean, because, I don't know if email's dead or not, but, with Facebook around now, people just get lost in the Facebook newsfeed. So why not put it on the Facebook newsfeed? So then it just comes through to you, and you can see a bit of your favorite websites, and then a bit of family news, and then your friends' news, and then I think that makes sense.
I think people, I don't know, I tend to, most websites that I go and look at, if they've got a Facebook page, I will like them, and that's then where I see all their information, and I think, and keep up to date that way.
So what's one piece of advice you would give your pre-baby self?
My pre-baby self. Those bad times, those dark times don't go forever. And one day you'll laugh at yourself and think, did I really do that? Or did I really cry over that? But it's not forever. Sort of to cherish, those good moments, because the kids grow up really fast. And, I don't know. I suppose that's what I give to myself.
Well, that's one thing that I'm finding. They do grow up really quickly. They're good timekeepers, aren't they, kids?
They are.
I feel like I've only just had my second child, but, she's nearly 3, and... It's 3 years.
But she's still your baby.
She is, and I'd love to have another one, but I don't have time to have another one.
Go on, do it.
do it.
Pretty good. I suppose I'd also tell myself not to get caught up in all the professional advice that seems to come at you as soon as you have a baby, as soon as you're pregnant, and all the books that, how you can get hung up on what you're supposed to be doing. Just not to get hung up in that and caught up in that, and to do what feels right and natural, because often that is the best thing for you when you're a child. And I think it get too confusing too when you've got all these different opinions and views that aren't necessarily wrong, but it's just too much.
Yeah, too much. Yeah. And especially when you're in that foggy, sleep deprived state, you can't sort through all that information. So.
No. And you always kind of know what to do, or you know what you need to do, or what feels right, but you're sort of more worried about what other people will think. Oh, is this the right thing?
Yeah, don't put them on their stomachs to to sleep when they're too little and things like that. Whereas with my first one, she was a back sleeper, and with my second one, she was a front sleeper. And I know that's all the studies and stuff around that, so please don't, criticize me for saying that. But I just did what was right for my child, and she turned out okay, so.
Well, we were co-sleepers with our first two because that's the only way we could cope. Yeah, it got a bit much once I was pregnant with our third, and we had a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. I was like, I'm going to get them out of here now. And we did. They were gone to their own beds. It was a lot easier when they were that old to, get them out. Yeah, to get them out. But then with our third, we weren't really. Like, she comes in now at 5, and then she'll go back to sleep, and she'll sleep for ages, so it's really good. But from day one, I was sort of determined that actually this time I'm going to do it differently, and that's what works for her. So, yeah.
It's really hard to raise all of your kids the same way because they're all different people and you have different conversations with them. So I find it interesting when people say, I raised my kids all the same. It's like, but you didn't have that same conversation at that same time with the same kid and the different kid, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and they're so different too, like...
They respond to different things. I know my two do. I've got one who's like a social butterfly and the other one who is so competitive and she just wants to race and beat everyone and be the best. Like she's at the moment colouring in. So she's always got to have a competition running in her mind and then she gets someone else to do the colouring in and then she wants me to judge that she's the best at the colouring in and it's absolutely driving me insane. And it's like, well, let's just do it for enjoyment, not for a competition. And even today I was at a place called Bubs and Boardrooms and they were timing her as how fast she could put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
So she was getting like personal best each time and then they would turn the puzzle over so that she couldn't see the picture and then timing her how quick she could do it upside down kind of thing. So it's all about competition with that one. I don't know how to stop her from being like that. Or maybe I just don't.
Probably going to be a good trait one day.
Yeah, one day. So what's the most useful and useless baby item you have or had?
Useful and useless baby item that I had. Oh, yeah, I couldn't think of a useless one. The only thing that I could think of and having it, was like with newborns, don't buy cheap nappies. Just don't do it. Not with newborns. Once they're older, it's okay.
Not with the poo explosions?
No. And we had, like, our first two had, like, sort of food intolerances and stuff. So they had, like, we had pollutions. A lot.
I like that word, pollution.
Pollutions. Yeah, cheap nappies. Don't do it for newborns. Just don't. And my most useful baby item, I was trying to think. I was very practical. It's kind of like, with the first one, I didn't know what I should buy. By the time I was having my second, and especially my third, I was like, right, I just want this, and this, and I'm having it. With our second, I was like, I don't know if I need double pram or not, and I didn't get one. And then I bought a few different types, like I don't like them. And then I got like this double mountain buggy side by side. This is going to sound really weird. And it was like a life changer. It just, I don't know, it worked for me. I could walk places. You could put like tons of groceries in the bottom.
Awesome.
So no transferring two small kids because they were still really little together. You could there was no who was on top and who was on the bottom. They're both side by side and up high, so you could just push it up to the cafe table.
Oh, that sounds
I don't know.
That sounds good because at the moment, I've just got like a stroller. You know, the strollers that all the wheels go in opposite directions? It's always fun. That's what I've got. We bought it when we went to Bali a couple of years ago and I'm like, I'm only buying one stroller and that's it because, they'll only be in it for a short amount of time. But I think I'm still going to use it this year because I've got to walk my eldest to school and my youngest can't walk all that way. So I'm going to use that stroller that goes in all different directions and it's probably going to annoy me.
I was a bit of a pram theme. I don't know. I had like a pram obsession.
A few women do. I noticed on the Facebook feed even today there was this lady that posted something about prams. And I didn't realise this because I was very lazy days. Like my first pram cost me $150 and I had that even for my second child and I didn't know. Maybe I just don't know what I'm missing out on because the way that these people are talking about prams. Well, it's not worth it now. You know, if I have another kid, I might spend $1,000 on a pram. I don't know. But right now, I must be missing something.
I don't know what it is. I got a little obsessed. I can't go into it because it's embarrassing, the amount of prams that I bought
How
and
many
sold.
did you have? Come on, tell us. Approximately.
I don't know, approximately maybe 5?
5 prams.
Yeah, that's strollers as well.
Okay. Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and that's taking into consideration. No, I can't make excuses. There's no excuse. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, there's nothing wrong with you. I think, because you're using them every day, I think they're worth spending money on. Really.
Yeah.
And especially, if they just sit there and you don't use them, well, then, yeah, it's, like that exercise bike or whatever. But if you're going to use a pram and do your shopping in a pram and, go to the cafe with a pram, I think it's worth it.
I think a good pram. Yeah, I'd vote for that. It's worth it.
Okay, cool. Let's move on. Daycare. What's your experience with daycare?
This could be also controversial. This has been going a lot around Facebook at the moment.
I hate my daycare. Tell me about yours.
Exactly. Family daycare or centre care. I think centre care is great for after 2 years, and that's just my experience. Whatever works for your family. But I worked in daycare for a little bit, and I worked in a baby's room. I used to get a bit upset because I couldn't always get to every baby when I wanted to get to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like if you're crying, you kind of want to cuddle them, and you've already got one, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're feeding two, and then there's one crying, and you're going, I've only got 2 hands, and the other person's busy with, because the ratio then was 5-1. Now it's 4-1, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
So I just decided for me that when we had ours, I was all geared to go back to work. I had a job lined up, and I just couldn't do it initially. So for me, it was I stayed home with our older 2 for a couple of years, and then they went to daycare to a small centre after 2 years, which was good for them, and they enjoyed it, and it was great for me. Got to go to the toilet by myself.
Awesome, everything is awesome.
That's all. I'm going to have that song in my head all night now.
Sorry.
And we used family daycare for our younger one. Yeah, initially I was really, really had reservations about it, and I think it's the same reservations that everyone else has. Like, I don't know, there's only one person there, but we loved it. Absolutely loved it, and it's been really good for her. And I just loved how she did everything that I would have done with her if she'd been at home with me. Mm. And, she got to go to playgroup, and she got to go to the library to story time, and she got to go to the shops and meet her friends. She had this whole other life that I didn't know about. But, she got to do all that kind of thing and cook. They used to make little cupcakes and stuff like that. And they do that in centres as well. But for us, we really we just liked the family daycare for her. So it was good.
Awesome. And so you've got 3 kids, 3 girls. Which was the easiest transition for you?
2 to 3.
And why do you think that was?
I was a bit older.
A bit wiser?
I knew not to get hung up over things. And when you have your first one,
you're all stressed out and you've got anxiety. And
they're crying over this. I don't know what they want. I don't know about this. I haven't done this. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
I think our first 2 are quite close together. We're not hugely close together, 18 and a half months apart. So I found that a big shock to the system and really hard to handle. And I suppose I was that little bit younger. So I was 24 when I had Chloe and 25 when I had Meg. So maybe I was still a little bit like, where's my life kind of thing.
You took my life.
Yeah, so I was a little bit older and more experienced. I was 30 when I had Amity. And I suppose I don't know, maybe it was just that I'd had 2 kids already and I knew that, it doesn't last forever and we'll be right. But,
we were right, keep going on. Keep going along.
The first 2 are still alive, so I must be doing something right. Actually, I had a friend once tell me, Belinda, if everyone's still alive at the end of the day, you've done a good job.
That's why we celebrate birthdays, because then we don't kill them, It's like, yay, another year, woohoo.
You did!
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of the Busy Mum podcast. I've really enjoyed speaking with you this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay.